DDR5 RAM is insanely fast. You have 8400 megahertz XMP kits now, but there's a big issue with them. A lot of them are not stable, and there possibly is a simple fix. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Chamber here, and today we will be talking about how much RGB RAM really just affects your PC's stability. RGB has been on RAM for a while. Obviously, DDR4 wasn't that big of a deal to RGB RAM. Like, obviously, it looks sick, I will say. I have RGB and RAM in my PC right now as we're talking. But there might be an underlying issue because of this. A major issue you're going to have in a lot of motherboards is just stability. Some of them, it's because of the motherboard. Some of them, times, it's just because of the RAM itself. Sometimes it's your fan orientation. One of the best ways to get higher stability is to lower your temperatures. You gotta lower your temperatures. The cooler your components run, just the overall more stable they will be, and probably possibly faster. This is a theory I've actually had for a while, but I actually now can test it properly. So I now have a RGB kit of DDR5 from KingBank, and I also have a non-RGB kit of the exact same DDR5 from KingBank. Both are Hynix 8i. Both will be running at the same timings for this video. We're gonna do three different kinds of lighting tests. We're gonna have standard RGB on, RGB off, then I'm gonna turn off through signal RGB. But then we're also going to just put in the non-RGB sticks to see, do those run cooler? We'll be looking at temperature and power draw through hardware info. We're gonna be running 10 minutes of Karhu. The reason I'm choosing Karhu is because there's no really IMC test. This really honestly is just DDR5. It's just testing the RAM itself. And then we're going to be doing two kinds of timings. We're going to do the XMP. I'm going to do the 6600 megahertz XMP that comes on the RGB sticks. The non-RGB are technically 6400, but they will run at 6600. I can confirm this. Both kits run at 7800 CL36 overclock though, with the exact same voltages. So we will be testing that as well just to see what really is stable. Only running 10 minutes because that's just how long it's going to take to be heat soaked. For XMP, I will also be turning off the fan just because I feel like most people running an XMP aren't going to have a RAM fan, so we can see if that really does help stability at all. But obviously for the overclocks, we will be running a fan, as well as for anyone running higher than 7200 megahertz on the RAM, really would recommend picking up a RAM fan. I am using the Johnsbow RAM fan from AliExpress. I'll leave a link down below. Really big fan of this. If I can find like one on Amazon, I will link it down below as well. But let's get into the testing. But first, a word from our sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by MyKeyShop.com. Head over to MyKeyShop.com/software and you can get Windows, Microsoft Office, and other keys for extremely cheap. Are you tired of that Windows activation watermark in the bottom right-hand corner? Well, this is the perfect way to get rid of it. Using code CT55, you can get a Windows 10 Pro key for just $7 and a Windows 11 Pro key for just $12. This is the perfect time to get any key you need. So use the link down below and use code CT55 for 55% off your purchase. Thank you so much to MyKeyShop for sponsoring this video. Before we actually go into the testing, I didn't realize this, but this is actually a 6800 CL34 kit, 1.4 volts. So we'll see how this performs in Karhu. I will be unplugging this RAM fan as well. 10 minutes of Karhu later, so fully stable. Obviously, this is 6800 CL34. It's the same timings from my $100 8200 megahertz video I did, but it's been a little while since I stopped the test. But we averaged about 44.5 degrees between the both RAM sticks. Obviously, DIMM number 2 is going to be a little bit colder just because it is farther away from the CPU here. CPU is still overclocked, hyperthreading's off, typical CPU OC. The power draw was about 3.9 watts. So we get to see if RAM does actually affect that power draw at all, or if the power draw doesn't actually be affected because of the RGB. Now we are going to go into the overclock and see how this affects temperatures. I'm also going to plug the RAM fan back in. So about 11.5 minutes now. So okay, it's a little bit longer, but we'll be fine here. So we're getting about, I'm gonna say about 43-ish degrees. So this RAM fan does help. It is maxed out, running about 4,000 RPM. All the other case fans are running about 1,000. I forgot to mention that. But this is 7800 CL36. These are all the timings you're getting. If you want the rest of the timings, link down below in the Discord. Become a supporter. But obviously, these timings are gonna be fine. So also the power was a little bit higher at about 5 watts. Say about 5 watts right there. So obviously power is a lot higher, but having cooling is very good. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to go to signal RGB right here on this screen. Let me move it over for you guys. And then we're going to go to devices. We're going to go to these sticks. These are the King Bang sticks. We're just going to turn the brightness all the way to 0. And the RGB is off. I'm going to keep the RGB on the fan though, just because it looks sick and that isn't going to really affect any results. Back to XMP though. RGB is off on the RAM, as you can see. The RGB is still on the RAM fan, but that doesn't matter. The fan's not even on because we are using XMP 6800 megahertz CL34. Another 11 minute. I kind of let it sit past the test. It's cooled down. But we averaged about, according to the spreadsheet here, 45 degrees on the temperature. 3.9 watts. Okay, half a degree difference. This is slightly hotter. The room could have gotten hotter. Margin of error. This doesn't make a difference. But let's see, removing RGB completely. We'll actually just go to the overclock now, see how this affects that. RGB off, overclock 7800, typical overclock that I have. It did error. I don't know why. This might just be like a weird training issue because I've ran this literally for 5+ hours before. But we got the exact same results. 43 degrees on this temperature, 5 watts power. It's the same thing. But now we're gonna see how good this non-RGB kit. It's in like the wrong box because it just is. But now we're gonna see what the King Bang sticks do without RGB. Yep. New RAM's in. It looks exactly as the old RAM, but hey, no RGB on it by default, obviously. No fan, XMP. We're running the 6800. This is a 6400 kit, but I just changed it to the 68. Same timings. It's a little tip for you guys. If you want faster XMP, just apply it yourself. 13 minutes. And what do we get? 46, 43, like 44-ish. Let's say the room got maybe a degree or so hotter. Power draw, probably, I'll do like another like 3.94 watts again. Not looking too good, but let's see what happens with the overclock. Okay, this test is getting a DNF. I literally upped the voltage and it just reset. Like no matter what, I can't get this stable for some reason. ADI is not the same. Maybe we need to, this might be changed to a what ADI to buy. But keep your RGB apparently. So from all these tests, we can pretty much confirm RGB does not affect your DDR5 stability or your temperatures at all. It was all within margin of error. But one thing was confirmed. Your bin of RAM does matter. The 6400 megahertz kit that I got back in summer of 2023 was significantly worse than I got of the RAM kit that was from December of 2023. So less than 6 months of a difference. I'm getting a significantly better bin. I went from about like 1.47 DRAM voltage on my DDR5 that I'm using in my daily system to it like not even being 1 minute stable in Carhu, from being, I think it's like 12 hours stable at least in Carhu. I stopped it after 12 hours. If you want RGB, feel free, go ahead. There's nothing wrong with RGB at all. What I would recommend though is getting a high quality RAM kit. Something like the Team Group T Creates. They're 7200 megahertz. They don't have RGB. So if you want RGB, maybe get another Team Group kit. Maybe get a King Bang kit. I'll leave some links down below. Affiliate links, by the way, just in case you are interested. I am a big fan of the T Creates just because of the fact that the difference between heat spreaders on and heat spreaders off is about 1 degree. So you don't really have to worry about RAM temps as much. Obviously, getting a RAM fan as well is really going to help you. We proved that running XMP with no fan with like significantly lower DRAM voltages versus versus an overclock with the RAM fan, significantly better RAM temps. So I'll leave a link down below to some RAM fans. If anything, just flip your top fans, put them down. I have one like blowing down as well. Or just make sure you have proper airflow in your case. But hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Hit the like button down below. Subscribe. Use the affiliate links. Join the Discord. If you join this video, become a subscriber of the Discord. Get access to the OC guide. So you can get the 7800 megahertz plus overclocks. Plenty of people use my timings, by the way, and get higher than 7800 megahertz. I just have a bad board. Shout out Gigabyte, by the way. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.